Hello and welcome back everyone. In the last episode, I wanted to punch a hole in my monitor because of rat catchers. In this one, we embrace the cold and venture north into the land of the Fremeniks. So let's get started. I've spent almost no time in the greater Rellekka area, so because of that, I have nearly none of these diary entries completed. So just like with the last episodes, let's get the easy achievements out of the way first. These are going to be done all out of order for no particular reason other than that's how I completed them. First up, we're going to change our boots at Yrsa's store. And well, I didn't really change my boots as much as I just opened up her shop, but I got the entry and you know that's all I care about right now. After that, we are going to collect 5 snape grass from Waterbirth Island. Easy pickings. Bye Waterbirth, I'll be back in like, I don't know, 15 minutes-ish. Time for some light crime. Browse this shop over here. Holy shit, condensed gold is a little expensive. I now catch a cerulean twitch, simple enough. And I need to gather some silver from these rocks over here and craft a tiara in Rellekka. I'm not sure why tiaras keep coming up in these diaries. I don't know, maybe a princess wrote them. Jokes are the funniest when you have to explain them, right? Chop and burn some wood, fill her up, and we're done with all the easy achievements. Lovely. Now we move on to the medium entries. I need to slay a brine rat. To do this, I need... oh no. Partial credit of Olaf's quest. Well, we all know how that went last time, so hopefully it won't be as bad as rat catchers. Olaf's quest is all about covering up your own failures. Honestly, who can't relate to that a little bit, right? Olaf over here is looking for his grandfather's treasure, and well, you see that boat over there? Yeah, that's Olaf's, and as you can see, it's not in the best of shape. So we decide to help this poor guy out. He wants our help fabricating his journey for his family so they won't be disappointed in him. We need to gather some wood from this windswept tree up here. That way Olaf can make some carvings? Hey man, I'm no artist, but just between you and I, these things look like ass. Are you sure this is what you want to be doing? Well, I guess so. So I'm now Olaf's personal Amazon Prime service, and I deliver these works of art to his family and uphold his lie. Okay, so here's the thing. All you guys have to do is turn up your draw distance and you can see Olaf from here. Like, he's not that far. But they buy the lie and we return to Olaf, whose fire has gone out and is now freezing to death. Rather than return to Rellekka and admit he's a fraud, he wants us to solve his problems for him. Of course he does. We light these damp planks and give him some food. Dude, is there anything you can do on your own? Olaf then tells us that the map he's been taunting us with has probably been cursed this whole time. So when did you find that out? Was it before or after your life went to shit? The map tells us that the X marks the spot area is right next to the windswept tree we cut down earlier. We do a little dig down and fall into the dank cave. Oh, I see some brine rats. Nice, I'm just gonna kill one of those for the entry. But I decided I feel bad for Olaf, so I'm going to help him and I'm going to finish this poor man's quest. Making my way to the door, we rearrange the image into a skull and crossbone. I'm sure that's not an indication of danger or anything. And make it into the next section. Here we need to cross this dilapidated bridge, so we begin repairing it and, well, you can fall. Okay, cool. Oh, I fell. All right, here we go. Oh. All right, please let me cross this time. Of course not. Fucking finally, I make it across the bridge and face Sven's skeletal sentinel. That has a nice ring to it. So I didn't bring any actual weapons or stuff to fight. Not really. So we're just gonna chop this dude down like he's a goddamn tree. He falls and that is quest complete. The next few entries are much faster. I need to travel to the Snowy Hunter area via Eagle. Oh hell yeah, we get to see this animation again. It's just as good the second time. I need to mine some coal right here and steal some fish from the stalls. Now it's time to travel to Miscellanea via the fairy ring and catch a snowy night. All done. All very simple entries and not very medium achievement of you, Runescape, but honestly you won't hear me complaining. Okay, pick up my pet rock from my player-owned house menagerie. I don't know what 90% of those words mean. Time to look it up and see. Oh, okay, so I need to build a menagerie, which is a room in my house. In order to do that, I need 37 construction. I am currently level 34. Okay, cool, I'm not too far off of that. And according to the wiki guide on construction, the best way to level at my current bracket is through oak larders. So I check my inventory and pull all the oak planks I have and make my way to my house. I pretty much just rinse and repeat this process until I run out of oak planks. Then, as anyone would, I go and deforest lumberage a little bit, turn those oak logs into oak planks, and back to the house I go. The trips were pretty simple. I was able to make 2 or 3 larders per inventory. I would then teleport back to lumberage, head down to the food/bank chest, gather the planks, tele back to my house, over and over again. And I felt a cool little rhythm doing this. Once I reach the desired level of 37, I get myself some money from my bank, buy a new room for my house, the menagerie, for all of my pets. One of them, I think. I place Stallone in the menagerie, and then pick him up. Awesome. Achievement complete. Now we move on to the next quest requirement, and that is to mine some gold at the Arzenian mine, which requires partial completion of Between a Rock. That also means that I have to complete Dwarf Cannon first, so let's take care of that. Dwarf Cannon is a pretty straightforward quest. Captain, log off. You telling me to log off now? No, I won't do that. Captain Log Off here and his blackguards are having trouble with the goblin incursion. You mean these level 2 goblins right here? Okay, sure. I'll bite. What do you need done? I have to repair these 6 broken railings and... Ow. Fuck. Shit. Ow, my thumb. After hitting my thumb about 10,000 times, I report back to Log Off. He tells us that communication has gone silent from the watchtower and we need to go check it out. So, one checking it out later reveals that the guard up there is dead as hell. He's probably been dead for a while, considering he's all bones at this point. We are the bearer of bad news to Log Off. This news hits him hard. He tells us that this dwarf was named Gilab, and he has a son named Lulk, who has gone missing. So, guess what? We're gonna go find that missing child. Following the quest helper, we enter into the goblin cave, run over to the marked crate, and set the child free. Holy shit, you're tiny. And then, he fades into oblivion, never to be seen again. Once we return, Log Off thanks us for finding the child by giving us more work to do. Great. We need to fix his cannon. We do that, and now he admits that he doesn't know how to make ammo for this thing. A trip to Ice Mountain later, with the ammo mold and instructions procured from Lulodian, we return one final time and claim our reward from Log Off. Now it's time to start Between a Rock. To begin, we head into Keldegrim and speak with Dondakin. I'm gonna shorten that name. A dwarf who is literally throwing money into a wall and trying to break it open. We have nothing better to do, so we agree to help this guy out in investigating this wall. We talk to an engineer who refers us to Rolad over in Ice Mountain for more information. Rolad tells us the book we seek has a few pages missing, and of course, it's going to be our job to find them. One of the pages is in a minecart. Okay, I can see someone dropping that in here. The next page is obtained by killing a scorpion? Okay. How did that happen? How did a scorpion get the page? We get the last one and it's in some clay? Okay, does someone want to explain to me how these pages got placed in the most esoteric spots? Like, how does it even get inside the clay? Did someone just place it here for me to find? Yeah, this is a video game, and the devs placed all these things in very specific spots for you, the player, to find. Duh. A small aside, I love that once we have all the pages, the options to talk to Rolad are, of course, and of course, lie. I'm sure there are differences in what this means, but just looking at it is funny to me. We go back to Don, with some gold in my inventory, and tell him what we found. Oh, so you want something that is stronger than the strongest metals in this entire world? I got just the thing for you. How about some gold? Desperate for anything to work, Dawn humors us and has us build a gold cannonball. With the gold cannonball made, we fire it from the cannon, and to our surprise, it doesn't make contact with the wall. It just seems to kind of phase through it. So of course, Dawn then has the brilliant idea of launching me from the cannon. Being the immortal god that we are, we agree, and we set off to find the schematics to change the cannon so it can fit me inside of it. Also to make a gold helmet. There are 4 schematics in total. We get one right away from Dawn. There was one in the last page of the dwarf lore book that we helped put back together. You get the 3rd from the engineer we spoke to earlier. I craft my helm while I'm at it. And lastly, we need to speak to our old friend Korvac, who is holding the 4th one. But of course, he wants a fucking drink first. My adventurer has had enough of this buy me a drink first bullshit. I love this section of dialogue, it's so good. The devs know that it's become a bit of a cliche in these questions to buy a drink first and it'll solve all your problems. It's so funny, I love this shit. After we get all the schematics, we shimmy them all together to get this jumbled mess. But if a dwarf can read it, that's all I care about. I equip my fighting gear and head to Dawn to finish up this quest. This is seeming like another 99% quest completion requirement for a diary, but I didn't mind this one nearly as much as Ratcatcher's, and I'm gonna guess that most people would agree with me on that. With all things set in motion, it was time to get stuffed into the cannon, immediately regret my life choices, and get fucking sent into this wall. Miraculously, we do not immediately die of blunt force trauma, but instead slip right into a place between the worlds, it seems. Here's the gold vein that we need to mine, and beautiful. That is an achievement done. And I know this quest is nearly done, so I gather more gold, talk to this wall of fire, and I kill the spirit that approaches me. That's quest complete. There's just one more entry to take care of, and that is to visit the lighthouse from Waterbirth Island. To do this, I need to traverse the Waterbirth dungeon. And let me tell you, it didn't go very well. I decided to try to go in blind at first, and I was almost immediately lost as to what to do. I ran over to this door and I found myself not being able to open it. But I did notice, or maybe I remembered from my time watching Runescape, that there was a spot for something to be placed on. And I thought, hey, I have a rock that can maybe fill that spot. So I grabbed Stallone, put him in my bag, and I head back into this next section and get stuck. I had no idea what I was doing, so I did what anyone else would, and I looked up a fucking guide. Turns out you need a rune throwing axe to bypass this little tri-lock thing. I don't really know if there's another way, but that's what the guide suggested, so that's what I did. And I still struggled because I just threw the axe and I didn't use the special attack of these axes. I don't know who found out all this stuff, but there's a lot. There's so much to this game that it just never explains to you. And I know that's part of the charm, but it can also be a little frustrating for a new player, just feeling stuck like that. After unlocking this section, I head down the ladder and find myself in hell. All of these different monsters attack with the 3 different attack types, so I have to prayer swap so I don't just flat out die. This is light work for most seasoned players, but for me, I am shitting my pants the entire time trying not to die down here. I follow the guide through all the different rooms and sections and finally make it past the Dagonoth King's zone and up into the lighthouse. Whew, okay, that was tough. I'm able to claim my reward and check off the Fremennik Medium Achievement Diaries. And that is where we are going to end today's episode. And the next one, we head into Kandarin. Don't have much to say about that, so until then, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all later. Goodbye!